And that's a beautiful segue into what I wanted to ask you now. So you've given us a few tips and actionable items for just anyone, for myself, for anyone who's listening. How about the female entrepreneurs or the women ex-entrepreneurs that are listening now and are having some trouble juggling family life, personal life, and their careers at this point in time where most of us are working from home, and it's so hard to first set those internal boundaries, but also, well, set, I guess, the external boundaries with your spouse, with your children, with your pets. My pet has a terrible time understanding my internal boundaries. But what tips would you have for the entrepreneurs listening?
Yeah, amazing. So for ambitious women that are multi-talented and multi-dimensional beings who really do come across professionally and with their families and with their spouse, I actually ask them to redirect some of the energy, attention, and care that they so lovingly give to other people. I ask them to direct that back at themselves, even if it's 5% to begin with, even if it's 10% when they feel comfortable to. Because having those boundaries with people in your life, for example, that your husband can take the kids, or your mom and dad, or nanny or babysitter can take the kids for 2 hours on a Saturday so that you can spend time unwinding, spend time disconnecting from the family unit per se, but then actually remember who you are. Because what we see a lot in motherhood is that women, selflessly devote to their family, and also sometimes they have to be the career woman as well. But then they kind of get lost in the process of that if they're not actually actively still creating the relationship with themselves to devote time to. And just start somewhere, even if it's 30 minutes on a lunch break where you actually leave the office and you have a walk by yourself, because it will benefit you. You can have that peace of mind and clarity that nobody is asking you what to do, or nobody is giving you constant stimulation. There's no chatter in the background of your office, because I know how having a quiet space and moment is so much peace of mind for mothers, that really grant yourself permission to receive that. Because as a mother, you're doing so much, and as a woman as well, like, we do so much for other people. But really being able to say, okay, well, when is it my turn, and how will that look for me? And maybe journal out how you can make some more time for yourself fit into your busy schedule. Because it's an investment in feeling this positive sense of well-being that is such an investment. Like, it's never a bad investment. If you don't have that, what builds up is resentment and frustration. And that's when the relationships start to become toxic, because we're directing that energy outwards.
Oh, yes, that is so true. So it always goes back to self-care and self-love, self-compassion as well. I like to say, pat yourself in the back. You've done great. Maybe you did not complete the task for the day, the tasks, your list of items for the day, but you've completed 75%. So love yourself, pat yourself in the back. What you did was great. Or like some other people like to say more jokingly, you've kept the children alive.
Yeah.
That's
what my mom used to say.
Right? You've accomplished enough. I like to say that of Bianca, my dog. Yes, she's made it through another day. Going to be okay.
Yeah, and there's such high expectations placed on women in society to be that for everybody, and rescue people and care for people and be the nurturers. And that high expectation actually comes with a lot of pressure and a lot of basically, it's the people pleasing tendency. So when we actually realize we can release some of those expectations, because they actually weren't our expectations to begin with, they're mostly societal strings and obligations that are conditioning, we didn't choose it, then we're like, actually, we can fill ourselves up, and then everyone around us will benefit because we're coming from a place really centered and grounded and positive and happy. And we can hold ourselves and we can hold our family better that we've invested the time. So just wanted to put that part into
you should
constant practice.
It is an ongoing process for sure. Yes, you don't just arrive. Yeah. I was looking at your social media, and namely your Instagram feed, which is so lively and so well educated. And so I came across your 12-week program called Embodied Worth, and I am dying to know more about it. Could you tell us more about Embodied Worth?
So yes, thank you so much for asking. So in my 3-month program, Embodied Worth, which is 12 weeks long, I help women to uncover the blockages and the self-doubt that comes from, this conditioning that we were speaking of earlier, to really uncover our true, authentic voice and self and expression in the world, so that we can be feeling confident and truly seen in that. So for pieces of the Embodied Worth journey, I love to include this feeling of stability and groundedness from the root chakra, from having this presence, which I also relate to the inner masculine piece, and feeling that holding, so that we can create space for all of ourselves to express and feel safe to express. Also, a really huge piece of the Embodied Worth program is this cultivating of trust in ourselves. So a lot of women have these fears and self-doubts and these feelings of overwhelm that actually stop us in our tracks from pursuing what we truly want in life. So my hope is that women who graduate after 3 months in the Embodied Wealth program are really feeling more confident and resilient, and just genuinely having more space for joy and their expression, and that they're able to ask for what they want, and they're able to share more of themselves with the world, because my deep passion is that more women are able to lead in the next coming years. Obviously, we've seen how beautiful it is from the example of Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand, our neighbors, and how many programs and social benefits she's been able to give to that country, which actually that country has eradicated COVID-19 as well, mind you. It's remarkable and amazing. So I'd like to see more women, ambitious women, really owning that piece of self-leadership, but then also being able to take it into whatever field they desire, so that we can have the benefit of more female leadership in the world.
Absolutely.
I think the world really needs that.
Now more than ever.
Yeah.